Good evening and thank you for joining us on this Monday. You're watching the 9 at Night. I'm Stephania Jimenez. Tonight, we start with a shocking decision at the Bexar County District Attorney's Office. 2 of 7 people charged in the 2020 capital murder of a 19-year-old woman have had their charges unexpectedly dropped. Erica Hernandez has more.
Each of these 7 individuals were charged with capital murder. All are accused of taking part in the death of 19-year-old Jasmine Williams in July 2020. Williams was fatally shot inside her home and robbed of her tennis shoes, piggy bank, debit card, and cell phone. On Friday, a jury was expected to be picked for Kyle Phillips' trial, but instead the charges were dismissed. Phillips will remain in jail as he is also facing charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and assault of a peace officer. Both of those took place before the murder. The capital murder charge was also dismissed for Dorian Murphy. Court records not indicating the reason behind the dismissal, only that the case is closed. Murphy is currently on bond for an unrelated assault charge. In the meantime, the status on the cases for 4 of the co-defendants remains unknown, but according to online court records, all have their next court date on May 1st. As for J. Mariah Pope Williams, in 2021, she accepted a plea deal in exchange for a reduced charge of aggravated robbery and testifying against her co-defendants. It is unknown if that plea deal is still in place as she remains in jail.
So what did the district attorney's office have to say? Well, not much. In an email back to me, they stated because both cases are still under investigation that they could not comment any further. We will continue to follow this case as the remaining co-defendants still face that capital murder charge. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
Now in other news, San Antonio police are still trying to figure out why a woman was shot downtown. This happened on East Martin near South Taylor Street around 3 a.m. SAPD says that officers found a wounded woman with a gunshot wound to her shoulder. Investigators say that she didn't cooperate with police and wouldn't share information. She was taken to BAMC to get treated. At this point, we don't know how she's doing. A 33-year-old man was arrested in Kerrville accused of smuggling 2 people and leading Kerr County Sheriff's deputies in a high-speed chase. David Jarrett Kleiber of Beeville was taken into custody after this incident last Wednesday. According to the Kerr County Sheriff's Office, they were conducting a drug and human smuggling investigation when they found Kleiber's sedan. They followed him, chased him onto the highway. Deputies say that when they finally caught Kleiber, they found 2 undocumented immigrants in his vehicle. Deputies detained them both, and they are now with Border Patrol. SAPD's missing persons unit is looking for a 69-year-old man who disappeared last week. He is Gregory Taylor. There he is. He was last seen Friday, February 10th on West Hollywood Avenue, just north of downtown. He's 5'9", weighs about 200 pounds with black hair, brown eyes. You can see that he wears glasses. Authorities say he has a medical condition. If you've seen him, call police. We now have new information this evening on a United Airlines flight from Hawaii that left people terrified. This was on December 18th. Flight 1722 plunged more than 1,400 feet in about 20 seconds. Pilots pulled the aircraft out of its fall and resumed the flight without further incident. The Federal Aviation Administration conducted an investigation but hasn't shared those results. Meantime, United Airlines conducted its own investigation and decided to provide additional training to the pilots who were involved in that incident. The National Transportation Safety Board chose not to investigate what happened. Authorities in Georgia are now planning to release part of a special grand jury report on former President Donald Trump's actions in the state after the 2020 election. The judge in the case ordered that the release can't include specific charging recommendations. The special grand jury's introduction and conclusion is going to be made public on Thursday, along with concerns that the panel had about witnesses lying under oath. Now, no one's been charged in the case. That decision is ultimately going to be up to a grand jury. The federal government is planning to pay up to $1.5 million more for 1.5 million more doses of the Novavax COVID-19 vaccine. The biotech giant says that doing so will ensure that the public has more access to that vaccine. The company is working on an updated version of its vaccine that specifically targets the Omicron variant and subvariants, and that version could be available by the fall. A disturbing new study shows that teen girls in the U.S. are experiencing record levels of violence, sadness, and suicide. According to the Centers for Disease Control's Youth Risk Survey, 57% of teen girls felt persistently sad or hopeless in 2021. That number, pay attention to it because it's double the rate that they saw for teen boys. Nearly a third of teen girls seriously considered attempting suicide. The CDC says that both of those metrics had increased dramatically over the last 10 years. Now, staying on topic, mental health experts across the U.S. want to overhaul the way that we treat kids' behavioral health issues. A new study looks at the records of more than 28,000 kids ages 6 to 17 who visited the emergency room with mental health issues. Researchers found that less than a third of them had supporting outpatient mental health visits within 7 days of leaving the hospital, and only 55% had a follow-up visit within 30 days. Research has shown that follow-up visits with a mental health care provider lowers a person's suicide risk and also raises the chances that they're going to take their prescription medication. Switching gears now, it's a new week. Here's meteorologist Adam Caskey with your forecast.
Turning a little damp out there tonight through the morning commute tomorrow. Just a drizzle and mainly nuisance moisture, a few hundredths of an inch, unfortunately, and that's it. Then sunny and windy, 60 in the morning, 75 in the afternoon, but wind gusts out of the west, up to 35 miles per hour at times. That wind simmers down tomorrow evening. Wednesday, even warmer, 80 degrees. Then a strong cold front hits, and it's back to sweater weather by Thursday and Friday. Actually, even a light freeze Friday morning.
Sweater weather. Hopefully your honey's going to get you that or a sweater for Valentine's Day. Speaking of, before we go, it's tomorrow, Valentine's Day. You can actually do two things at the same time. You can get your loved one a beautiful bouquet of flowers and also spread petal power.
They are flowers that are much more than just flowers. This is a training ground of sorts. Call it a Burleson Bouquet.
Now you're going to cut that one.
The Burleson School for Innovation and Education is a special education program. The students have oftentimes graduated from high school, but still need instruction or other educational training to land a job. That's where these flowers come in. Year-round, the students run a flower shop to learn what it's like to work in a business. During Valentine's Day, the flower shop is selling flower bouquets that students help make. Students build skills for communication, organization, and people skills. You get the final results.
The team building skills that they learn to work with one another and recognize that different strengths and weaknesses, so they're really, really good about helping one another.
Right now, they have 80 Valentine's Day orders. Their goal is 91. All the money made from the flower sales goes back into the school and the students, helping them hopefully bloom.
The bouquets range from $15 to $50. A small 6-rose arrangement starts at $15 and it goes up to 2 dozen roses, or about approximately $50.
And by the way, that's our Steve Spriester reporting. Right now, we are out of time. The 9 at Night returns tomorrow for, yes, Valentine's Day. We hope that you have a beautiful night, and we'll see you tomorrow.